Okay, I want to quickly circle back to Carson Wentz because it is now time to have a very honest and uncomfortable conversation about Carson Wentz. Here's the reality of Carson Wentz right now as we speak today, heading into the 2021 season, and really from this point going forward. You know, 2 years ago, roughly about 2 years ago, after the 2019 season, when Carson Wentz put the Eagles on his back and led them to the playoffs, and by the way, he was very good that season. But a lot of people, you know, kind of anointed Carson Wentz, and they said, oh, Carson Wentz, really talented quarterback. He might be an elite quarterback. I had several people even come on my show that I have collaborated with and talked with on the show that I'm good friends with that even came out and said after that season, they believe that Carson Wentz deserved to be in the conversation for being an elite quarterback. And a lot of Eagles fans actually felt that way too. And at that time, I just wasn't understanding where all of a sudden, all this praise was coming from. I felt people were being prisoners of the moment. You're telling me Carson Wentz is an elite quarterback when he's never had back-to-back winning seasons, when he's never won a playoff game? Can we at least just set the golden rule right here on this show when evaluating quarterbacks? If you've never won a playoff game and if you've never had back-to-back winning seasons, you are not an elite quarterback. I'm sorry, you're just not, okay? Being an elite quarterback is earned with sustained success, having great moments when it matters most in the playoffs, and obviously playing at a high level in the regular season, okay? And people were being prisoners of the moment with Carson Wentz. And I was telling them, Carson Wentz is a little injury prone, he's inconsistent at times, and can we at least see him have a back-to-back winning season before we anoint the guy? Here's the reality of Carson Wentz. Right now today, it is more than fair to say we have more than enough evidence to support this argument. Carson Wentz is not a franchise quarterback. He's just not. Okay? Carson Wentz has had one great season, and in that one great season, he didn't finish the full season because he got hurt. And his backup quarterback ended up leading his team to the Super Bowl without him. Carson Wentz has never had back-to-back winning seasons. He's often injury prone. And right now today, I'm not even sure if Carson Wentz is better than Jared Goff. And you might think to yourself, Jared Goff, are you crazy? The Los Angeles Rams just moved on from Jared Goff. Here's the facts about Carson Wentz and Jared Goff through 5 seasons. Remember Jared Goff, the same guy that was drafted in the same draft class as Carson Wentz. Jared Goff went number 1 overall. Carson Wentz went number 2 overall. Jared Goff today, for all the struggles he's had with the Rams, right now today, compared to Carson Wentz, through 5 seasons, he has a better completion percentage, a better passer rating, more yards per game, has a better winning percentage, has won more playoff games, has been to a Super Bowl, and oh yeah, he's actually had back-to-back winning seasons, something Carson Wentz has not had yet up to this point. And let's just throw out Jared Goff, because I know some of you are going to come at me and say, Carson Wentz is way more talented than Jared Goff. It's not crazy to think that Carson Wentz, when at his best, he's better than Jared Goff, okay? But in comparison to, I don't know, quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, it's not even close. Those guys are much, much better than Carson Wentz. And I'd argue that Justin Herbert is much better than Carson Wentz. Right now today, if Justin Herbert and Carson Wentz were on the same roster, who do you believe is going to start? My money's on Justin Herbert. Kyler Murray, let's look at him. Who do you think is going to start right now between Kyler Murray and Carson Wentz? My money's on Kyler Murray. Between Matthew Stafford and Carson Wentz, right now today, who do you believe is going to start? I think Matthew Stafford would start over Carson Wentz right now today. And not to mention guys like Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, Matt Ryan, even Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. Right now, I'd rather have those guys than Carson Wentz, okay? Because Carson Wentz is just way too inconsistent. You even look at a guy like Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger had an excellent season last year, had no run game, had a bunch of young wide receivers, not a great offensive line, and Ben Roethlisberger won 12 games and led the Pittsburgh Steelers to the playoffs. He had one of his most efficient seasons ever, and that was considered a down year for Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger has been to multiple Super Bowls, has won multiple Super Bowls. I'd take Ben Roethlisberger over Carson Wentz in a heartbeat right now, okay? So, at some point, people, look, I just named you roughly 17 quarterbacks that right now today I would either take over Carson Wentz or I would definitively say that guy's better than Carson Wentz. At some point, when you get to the 17, 18, 19 to 20 range, that's where you got to draw the line. All 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL right now are not long-term franchise quarterbacks. And the biggest reason why Carson Wentz is not a long-term franchise quarterback is because he's way too inconsistent and he's not reliable enough. I'm sorry, but the best ability is availability. And Carson Wentz, over the past, 5 to 6 seasons, at times he's not been available to play because he hasn't been 100% and he's always been banged up. Do you really want to invest the next 10 years of your franchise's future at the quarterback position? Do you want to invest that in Carson? Do you want to invest that in the hands of Carson Wentz? I personally don't. I will want no part of it. So I think the reality is this. I think Carson Wentz has officially peaked. I think right now today he's more overrated than underrated. And that's the harsh reality about Carson Wentz. He showed some promise early in his career in Philadelphia. Obviously regressed over time. Some of that had to do with the front office not supporting him with great talent at the wide receiver position. The offensive line was in shambles a little bit. But at some point, Carson Wentz getting hurt, that's just a trend. He's a little fragile. And if Carson Wentz doesn't perform in Indianapolis, I think his days of being a starting quarterback or a leader of a franchise could be over. I really do firmly believe that. I hope I'm wrong. But right now today, there are too many good young quarterbacks. There are some quarterbacks I didn't even mention right now that are probably better than Carson Wentz or that I would rather have than Carson Wentz. And I'm sorry, but once you get to the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th best quarterback, you got to draw the line at some point, okay? So Carson Wentz is not a franchise quarterback for all the reasons that I mentioned. I believe he's peaked, and it's honestly sad because I was rooting for him, but that's the harsh reality. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God-blessed day, and I'm out.